Well, we had Bob's close personal friend, and actually a guy I like a lot too, Tony Softli, former executive in the Rams front office, now broadcaster in St. Louis, in on the show with us today. I got a bunch of that podcasted. I'm sure we got a bunch of that podcasted on the page. But the most interesting thing about Tony, we kind of got him to reiterate what he had said to John Clayton when he sat in with John last Saturday, which is, well, I guess the gist of it is, Tony likes Russell Wilson a lot. And Seahawks fans, he thinks you're going to like him too, especially at starting quarterback before this year is out.
Yeah, he said at some point this season he's going to be starting for the Seahawks, Russell Wilson, and thinks the Seahawks got a steal in the third round. And he said basically the only knock on him is the same one we've all heard, and that's his stature.
Right, 5'10" and 7/8 or whatever it is.
Whatever the hell it is. But he loves his attitude, loves his presence, loves his athleticism, loves his arm. And who knows, if the guy were 6'3", would he have been a first-round pick?
He sure thinks so.
Maybe. I mean, that's... And in one way, you listen to that, you go, well, that's great news to know there's a guy that somebody from the outside has that much confidence in. But then at the same time, I'm wondering, well, what does that say for Matt Flynn?
Right.
Then do you look at that as, well, another bust at quarterback. They brought this guy in here, paid him, $10 million, and now he's going to be beaten out by a rookie? We'll see if it ultimately happens. I mean, I guess as long as they've got somebody, and you said this during the show, as long as somebody is playing well at that position, you're okay.
Yeah, that's how I think about it.
If he gets thrown in because Flynn stinks and then he goes in there and struggles and Tavares struggles, well, then it's a disaster.
Absolutely right. I mean, if you got the same... and look, this is the one monkey in the wrench for the Seahawks. They figured everything else out. They had a solid direction. They knew what they wanted to do at running back. It hasn't worked out maybe as well as they'd like to yet, but they had an idea of what they wanted to do at wide receiver. They brought in a brand new offensive line. They saw the move with Red Bryant. They're set on the defensive line. Linebackers, they got their style. They want to go big in the secondary. They are. Every single position group is set but one, and it's the most important one, quarterback. And I mean, going into this year, the likelihood is, Bob, unless Tavares Jackson wins the job, which I don't think anyone thinks is a good scenario just because of the scenario he's in, that'd be the third different starting quarterback in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's tough to win ultimately when you're doing it that way, so they do need some stability there this year.
Yeah, and we talked about Tavares before, the advantage he has is having been here, knowing the terminology, knowing his receivers, but I think we've seen who he is, and it's not just last year. He's been that guy when he was in Minnesota. So if he were to win the job, then again, you're like, all right, this is a big swing and a miss on those other two guys.
No question about it, because then you've wasted, or you're at least feeling like you've wasted a draft pick on a guy you thought could start, and certainly in the free agent money you paid to Flynn, a guy you at the very least thought could bridge the gap, can't do it either. You're looking at a long year if that happens.
If Wilson starts, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it could be a very good thing, actually. Hopefully.
How do you get a monkey in the wrench?
It's a good question.